about the zones. Okay, so let's see what is zones. Operations of drones. So where I can fly the drones, like I think Darsh asked me about the zones and all that things. So let's see, understand the zones. Okay, so any high security area is always a red zone. So if you see the airspace map of an unmanned aircraft system operation, segregating the entire airspace of India into red zone, yellow zone and green zone with a horizontal resolution equal to or finer than 10 meter. Okay, so that much clarity you should have, up to 10 meter difference. You can't have a variation less than 10 meters. Sorry, more than 10 meters. Okay, so within 10 meters is acceptable variation. Okay, so how do you segregate? So high security. Do you know which are high security areas? Like your airport, what you give example. Can you think about any other high security area apart from airport?
Military base, defense stations.
Sorry?
Defense stations, military base.
Defense or military, air force, navy, or your armed forces. All these bases are all high security areas. Your government offices, like your Parliament House, Rashtrapati Bhavan, your Mantralay, all these are, or even whatever government officials are there. Even there could be some critical, like your nuclear reactors. Even some places where you are doing some important research or some important facilities are there. Even those are being high security areas. So all high security areas are goes under red zone. Even temples like Tirupati temple is there, Siddhivinayak temple is there, even Mumbai Siddhivinayak temple, but even entire Mumbai city is under red zone, so automatically that temple will come under red zone. But like example, like Tirupati temple, Madurai temple, or your Siddhivinayak temple, some important temples, they all fall under the red zone area. Okay, so very high critical areas, high security areas fall under red zone. The classic example you can take is about airport. The airport is always categorized as red zone. Okay, so the airport, the landing strip, and the area of the airport. So the perimeter wall of the airport, the boundary of the airport. Okay, that is your high security area. From that boundary of that airport or high security area up to 5 kilometer. Okay, so you have to extend that area from the perimeter wall of the airport or the high security area up to 5 kilometer is your red zone. So in that red zone, it is completely no for flying the drone. Then from 5 kilometers, add another 3 kilometers. That is up to 8 kilometers. That is your inner yellow zone. Okay, inner yellow zone is completely again no for flying the drone. Then from 8 kilometers, add another 4 kilometers. Okay, so that is from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers. You have two categories over there, or two zones over there. One is called outer yellow zone, and there is something called as green zone also. So your green zone actually starts from 8 kilometers, but that green zone within 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers, it has limit of altitude, that is 200 feet. So here the green zone is only up to 200 feet. Above 200 feet, it is called as outer yellow zone. So from 200 feet to 400 feet is your outer yellow zone. Okay, whereas below 200 feet, from ground to 200 feet, it is green zone between 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers. Now if you go beyond 12 kilometers is your green zone, but that green zone has again altitude limited. That is up to 400 feet, it is only called as green zone. So within green zone you can fly without permission, but above 400 feet it is a yellow zone. So entire manned airspace is called as yellow zone. So anything above 400 feet is your yellow zone. Okay, but again you are not allowed to fly a drone in yellow zone. So you can fly without permission only in green zone, but it not necessary green zone है मतलब कहीं भी fly कर सकते हो. There are certain rules and regulations and restrictions are applicable in green zone also. Like for example, मेरा resort है, though my resort belongs to green zone, can I fly the drone in resort? No, I have to take the permission of resort owner. A village is in green zone. Okay, can I fly a drone in a village? No. I may have to take the permission from the local enforcement body, probably from the local police station as well as from Gram Panchayat. So you have to justify why you just can't fly drone anywhere. Okay, if you want to fly officially and without hazards, okay, any issues, then you have to take approach the bodies for, like for example, forest area. Can you fly? Forest area is a green zone, but can you fly drone over there? No, because again the forest area comes under the forest department. So you have to take permission from forest because it could be dangerous for animals or for any other purpose, or maybe wildlife, or maybe for environment purpose. All that could be there. Okay, nobody knows why you are flying the drone over it. What purpose you are flying the drone? For example, near the dam. Okay, dam also fall under the green zone. Okay, maximum time the dam will be always under the green zone, or the bridges, some big bridge or something over the river or thing, they may be always under the green zone only. But can you fly near them? No, you have to take the permission to fly over that area and all the things. So there could be certain rules and regulation, or there could be certain enforcement policy you have to follow. Okay, so you have to take appropriate permissions. Like कोई किसी का फार्म है, क्या उसको फार्म तो ग्रीन जोन पे आया, can you fly? No, you may have to take a permission from farmer. So for example, farmer is employing you for spraying the pesticide, so you should have a formal authorization from the farmer to fly that drone over you. नहीं तो कल वो कंप्लेंट कर सकता है कि मुझे बिना बताए आपने मेरे फार्म के ऊपर ड्रोन फ्लाई किया. Okay, and you will be in trouble. You may be flown for demo purpose or thing, but you have to take it writing from that farmer that you are authorizing for whatever purpose. You may be you are doing a demo on his farm, but you to be safe, you have to follow guidelines. You have to follow certain procedures. Okay, that is what you need to follow. So again, understand, high security area is a red zone. The perimeter from the high security area till 5 kilometers is your extension of your red zone. From 5 kilometers to 8 kilometers, that is additional 3 kilometers, is your inner yellow zone. From 8 kilometers, another 4 kilometers, that is from 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers, is your outer yellow zone. That is divided into two parts. One is outer yellow zone above 200 feet up to 400 feet, whereas below 200 feet it is a green zone. So your green zone starts from 8 kilometers. Okay, but their limitation of from 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers is for 200 feet. Beyond 12 kilometers, your green zone is up to 400 feet height. Okay, till you hit the next red zone. Okay, so that we'll see in the real time on the digital sky platform. I will show you how different zones are created in India or in our Indian airspace. So any questions on operations of drones?
Yes, sir.
Red zone, yellow zone, or green zone?
Yes, sir. Can you explain the yellow zone as one time more?
So yellow zone, see, if you see, yellow zone starts after 5 kilometers and it extends up to 12 kilometers. Okay, so from 5 to 12 kilometers is actually your yellow zone. But they are divided again into two segments. One is inner yellow zone and outer yellow zone. Now inner yellow zone starts from 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers. Okay, so that is clear. From 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers is inner yellow zone. From 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers is outer yellow zone. But here there is again outer yellow zone is divided into two parts. One is the normal outer yellow zone, which is above 200 feet. Okay, above 200 feet up to 400 feet is called as outer yellow zone. But below that outer yellow zone, the area from 0 feet to 200 feet is called green zone. So your green zone in outer yellow zone starts from 8 kilometers onwards only. So if you see the picture over here, your yellow zones is this part. Okay, inner yellow zone and outer yellow zone. So inner yellow zone is from 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers. Okay, up to 400 feet. Above that to yellow zone है ही है. Okay, if you see above space, it's normal yellow zone only, which is called as a manned airspace. But when we say inner yellow zone means up to 400 feet. When we say outer yellow zone means up to 400 feet. But outer yellow zone has two segments. One is outer yellow zone, that is from 200 feet up to 400 feet. Whereas below part is green zone. So from 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers there is a green zone, but which has a limited of height of 200 feet. So here you can fly without permission, but you can fly only up to 200 feet. But in complete green zone, you can fly up to 400 feet. Clear?
Okay.
I will share you another image also, which will give you more better idea. So this image and one more image I will be sharing you on the group by end of the day today. So you will get more clarity on the what zones you have. Okay. So important thing what you will understand is the red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. I hope now you are clear. As you see and understand and read more about it, the things will be clear. Okay.
Yes, sir. And another thing is there, like, is there any drone except DJI for which we can use legally for commercial purposes like videography?
There are the type certified drones are there, right? So if you want to do it for surveillance, video, audio, not audio, photography, there are drones available. Type certified drones are also available, and there are other third party OEMs are also there. Like Autel drone is there, Skydio drones are there. Then what is that? Autel, Skydio, and there are other companies are available. Only DJI being a Chinese drone, they are being banned. But there are other third-party drones as well as type certified drones are available, which you can use it for your commercial activities. Clear? Okay. Then now what are the mandatory pre-flight verifications? See, now you are flying in a green zone. Doesn't mean that you are allowed to fly. So as I said, you need to have proper permission. Okay, if you see here, no person shall operate unmanned aircraft system in red zone or yellow zone without prior permission. So for example, in red zone में अगर आपको fly करना है, you have to have a proper justification and you should have a proper authorization. Now for red zone, you have to get authorization from central government only. So only Ministry of Civil Aviation and Airport Authority of India can give you approval to fly in red zone with proper justification. That means it is next to impossible to get authorization in flying in red zone until unless you have a real requirement. नहीं तो आपको authorization नहीं मिलेगा. In yellow zone you can get that, you have to get it approved again from ATC. अगर ATC का अप्रूवल है आपके पास तो ही आप येलो जोन में फ्लाई कर सकते हो. ओके, apart from that you don't get permission. Okay, so it is very difficult to get approvals in red zone and yellow zone. You can fly in green zone. Here as per the rule it's saying no prior permission shall be required. Okay, that doesn't mean कि आप green zone में किधर. Again I give you example of resort, village, dam, forest. So you need to understand green zone है, but green zone कहाँ पे? But there are certain green zones where you really don't require a permission. So there are empty lands which is available, like open land, empty space, जिसके ऊपर किसी का, it is an open space, nobody owning that space. That space you can fly. Like forest, though it is not owned, but it comes under the forest department. Dam, it comes under the irrigation department. Okay, so like that, for like bridges and all those things, or some heritage like forts. Forts comes under the Geographical Society of India or Archaeological Society of India. इनके अंडर आता है. So उनका परमिशन लेना जरूरी है. Okay, though they belongs to green zone and they are not directly owned, but they are been regulated or they are been maintained or used or operated by certain bodies. So you have to take the permissions from them. Okay, so before commencing an unmanned aircraft system, a remote pilot shall mandatorily verify the digital spy platform for any notification or restriction applicable. Like for example, अगर आप अभी currently देखोगे, all the 4 northern states were made a red zone. Like your Gujarat, your Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, and Jammu Kashmir. Okay, all these northwestern corridor was completely, all districts, not the, I'm talking in pockets, the high security area. The complete district was made as a red zone. So within that district, you are completely not allowed to fly the drone during this war, or till I think 3rd June तक था. मैंने अभी तक देखा नहीं है whether that restrictions has been removed or not. Okay, on the digital sky platform. It was initially till 3rd June. Okay, let me see. I think it is been extended now. Okay, earlier that validation was till 3rd June. Now I think it was extended till 13th June. Okay, abhi as of now I can see it is till 13th June on the platform. I will show you that platform, But what is the important part is mandatorily pre-flight verification of zonal restrictions, because these are dynamic in nature in zoning. You can create this zone. I mean, there are certain people who are authorized to define the zone. Like for example, in Mumbai, okay, Vasai, Virar, Palghar area, during 21st December till 31st of January, this area has been defined as a red zone. Okay, या फिर currently Pune, Ahmednagar and Solapur is been defined as a red zone. These three districts are completely under the red zone. This was done on 4th December 2024. Before that, you could have flown the drone easily in Pune area. You could have flown drone easily in Ahmednagar. You could have flown easily drone in Solapur area. Okay, but after 4th December, they have made the entire district as red zone due to some political issues or due to some political or what is the security reasons and all this. So this, so there were RPTOs which were under Pune region. There were RPTOs in Ahmednagar. There was RPTO in Solapur region, which was affected because they cannot conduct training. Because if your RPTO comes under the red zone or thing, you cannot conduct because you are not allowed to fly drone itself. So they have to go back to Ministry of Civil Aviation. They have to go to Airport Authority of India and they have to approach political people also to get exemption. So after 1 month, so almost for 1 month, they were not able to fly the drone. After 1 month, after discussion and putting up their case in front of Ministry of Civil Aviation, they got the permission to fly for training purposes only. Only those RPTOs are authorized to fly the drone within that airbase, within their space, which is authorized for 1 year. After 1 year, they again have to apply for authorization. Okay. Similarly, for us also, earlier when we are operating from Mumbai or when we were operating from Dhule also, since Dhule was part of airport, we have to apply for a special permission because it was coming, since it was an airport, it was coming under airport. So we have to, every year we have to apply for permission to operate for training purposes. Okay, so normally on airport region we cannot fly as it is under red zone. But if it is special, certain area like even Nasik, okay, earlier only Nasik airport was a red zone, but now Nasik certain area is been defined as a red zone because there are, because of the political reasons as well as military stations, because there are locations near Nasik which are firing ranges or there are places where arms and ammunitions and armed places are there. So that's why certain areas in Nasik is also being termed now as a temporary red zone. So you have to see whether where you are flying the drone is not coming under red or yellow zone. If it is green zone, then you can fly, but then again you need to see appropriate permission where that green zone is located. Okay. Clear on the mandatory flight verification for zonal restrictions. I will demonstrate you practically also when on the map also. Okay. This is only from the documentation perspective I'm trying to. I will deep dive more on this topic when I show you the digital sky platform. Okay, so let's move ahead. Again, temporary red zone, like as I showed you, all the 4 states, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana and Jammu Kashmir are currently under temporary red zone. Okay, so this red zone are being extended till 13th of June. Maybe after 13th June they may extend or they may remove it depending upon the situation. Who creates these temporary red zones? It's the superintendent of police or his equivalent. Such officer shall endeavor or create the temporary red zone. Okay, so they may keep it for 96 hours or maybe for a longer period, but they have to keep on doing it. They have to define the limit of the red zone. Okay, and they will try to inform the people within that area that now this, but still doesn't mean if you see read line, it shall not absolve a remote pilot of responsibility to verify the zonal restriction. That means even whether you get notification or you don't get notification, as a responsible pilot, it's your responsibility to make sure that you see whether there is any kind of a restrictions or any kind of definition of a red zone on where you intend to fly your or where you intend to carry out your operations. Okay, before commencing the unmanned aircraft system operations. So even I am flying on my authorized base, it is my duty. So every time I go for flying at our RPTO, I still check on digital sky platform कि अभी वहाँ पे कोई स्पेशल टेम्पररी रेड जोन तो नहीं हुआ है ना, सब स्पेशल कुछ restrictions is there or not, because they are dynamic in nature. It can be, you can define that area. My RPTO can also come under a red zone due to some reason, I don't know, you know, certain कुछ केस हो जाता है, कुछ हो जाता है, या certain कुछ वहाँ पे कुछ installment आ जाता है, तो I can become a red zone in future also. Okay, so that point in time I may have to change my base, or I need to see what I can do at that point in time. For example, मेरा जो region है वहाँ पे कुछ elections होते हैं, so that point in time the superintendent of police can make that area completely under a red zone for certain amount of time also. So during that time I cannot fly the drone in that area. ओके, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मेरा वो जहाँ पे मेरा आरपीटीओ है या वेर आई एम ऑथराइज फ्लाइंग बेस, वहाँ पे इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं, ग्राम पंचायत का इलेक्शंस है या वट एवर इलेक्शन इज दैट, सो दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम द एसपी ऑफ दैट रीजन, इफ ही थिंक्स दैट यू नो आई हैव टू stop the operations of airport, so he can make that zone as a red zone, temporary red zone. Okay, so clear on the understanding of the temporary red zone, when and where it can be created, or maybe certain temple. Okay, अभी मुझे पता है सिद्धिविनायक टेम्पल इज, और सॉरी नॉट सिद्धिविनायक, शिरडी साई बाबा टेम्पल इज अंडर रेड जोन, और तिरुपति टेम्पल, these are fixed red zones, but there could be a certain other temple area, you know, which could be, there could be some festival or some function is there, so that point in time the SP of that region can call out that particular area as a temporary red zone during that festival period also. Okay, so certain areas, certain temples in Maharashtra are there, you know, like Pandharpur, you know, that can be defined as a red zone. Okay, that as of now it is not as a red zone, but that point in time it can be called as a red zone. Example I'm just giving, or any other temple, you know, or during festival period of like Ganesh or Navratri, during that time also certain areas can be created as a temporary red zone. Okay, so clear on understanding of the temporary red zone, and we move to the next topic. Okay, operation of US. So again on the operations of US, carriage of dangerous good, no person shall carry a dangerous good. So a lot of people, you know, attach something to that drone and they try to do something, like, you know, I have seen, you know, phantom drone liya hai, somebody has put some box below that phantom drone, and they had put a box so that, you know, they can do a flower dropping on the bride and groom during the wedding process. Okay, so which is very dangerous because you are not authorized, so you have to follow the rules for dangerous goods, rule number 2003. Okay, right of way again, no person operating an unmanned aircraft system shall violate the right of way for unmanned. So always priority will be given to the manned aircraft, okay, and shall remain clear of all manned aircraft. So in that scenario, you should always be clearing. You should always give preference or priority to aeroplane or manned aircraft, or civil airplanes or commercial airplanes or manned aircraft. Any kind of manned aircraft. It could even be fighter jets also. Okay, wherever it is a manned aircraft, they will get a top priority or first preference. Okay, so you should always give a way to them. Mandate in case of any accident, you should report within 48 hours. Okay, no later than 48 hours. So within 48 hours, you should always report. That means within 2 days of time frame, you should. Then only your insurance will be applicable. Then only you will be able to get compensation or whatever it is. So you have to, within 2 days, you have to refer your accident to the DGCA on the platform itself. Okay. So what are do's and don'ts? Whatever. Any question, Dash?
No, sir.
Okay. So in case of, let's see what are do's and don'ts. So in case of you're flying any of drones, you should make sure that you know your drone before flying it. So know the characteristics of the aircraft and how to fly it safely. Ensure that aircraft is safe for flight before you operate. So whenever we are doing the practicals, we'll be doing a pre-flight check. Okay, from a physical perspective also, whether our drone is proper and good for flying. Okay, कोई item टूटा हुआ नहीं है, लूज नहीं है, या कोई problematic issues नहीं है ना with the drone. Like for example, when we are taking a bike or a car, हम लोग देखते हैं ना पानी है बराबर, brakes है proper. You know, my car is in a good way or my bike is in a good condition to ride or drive. Similarly, when I am flying my drone, I will make sure that it is in good condition. Fly only in a good visibility and weather condition. So for example, rainy है, foggy है, or you know, night में. So current rule does not allow you to fly the drone in night conditions. So in a good visibility and weather conditions. So don't fly in foggy areas and all the things. Make sure keep your aircraft within your light sight because you are flying in visual line of sight. So you should always able to see your drone what you are flying. Keep your drone, ensure operation of transmitting. That means your drone should be able to communicate, your remote control should able to communicate with your drone at all times. So it is following IDA compliance or requirements. Okay, so you are flying within the range of your transmitter and receiver. Similarly, keep sufficient distance from people, property, and other aircraft, manned or unmanned aircraft also. So whenever you are flying a drone, make sure you are flying above. If you are flying above the people, you are maintaining a certain distance. Don't bring it very close to the person, okay, or people or property. You should maintain certain distance, like 5 meters or 10 meters away from people and property. You should follow the guidelines, or even other unmanned or manned aircraft also. You should fly away from them. Okay, that is what is the do's. Okay, then don'ts are like do not fly aircraft over any crowd. So don't fly above the crowd. You are not allowed until unless you have permission, like Kumbh Mela, yeah, Prayagraj, or you're capturing some event and all those things. You should get appropriate permission. If you do not have permission, you are not authorized to fly over the crowd. Similarly, don't fly an aircraft weighing more than 7 kg. This is a general template or general image of do's and don'ts. So this is with respect to FAA, whereas for us this category is less than 2 kg. Not more than 2 kg you cannot fly, okay, without approved permission. So do not fly an aircraft weighing more than 2 kg in total. So smaller like micro or nano you can fly, but more than 2 kg you should have appropriate approvals and permissions. Do not suspend or carry any attached items or anything like that. Okay, so don't carry any hand hazardous or anything which is not allowed to connect to your drone. So don't do that. Do not drop or discharge any item or substance from aircraft. As I told you, flower dropping. कुछ लोगों ने तो वो fragrance वाला system डाल दिया, so it just sprays some kind of fragrance from the drones and all the things. So that is also been done by people, which is not authorized or not allowed to do. Do not fly where you may interfere with emergency service providers or over moving vehicles where you can endanger or distract drivers. So don't do these kind of activities when you are flying the drone. Okay. Do not fly within 5 km of any airport or military airbase or higher than 200 feet or 400 feet. Okay. It talks about red zone, yellow zone kind of thing. So don't fly. You are not authorized to fly in red zone and yellow zone until unless you have proper permissions. Last is do not fly the aircraft over within the restricted, prohibited or danger areas, including security sensitive locations. Like I gave you example like forest, irrigation farms, dam, watery bodies, bridges, railway lines, important road, railway highways, probably like military bases or nuclear facilities, research facilities, all these bases which are being supposed to be a security sensitive locations, you should not fly your drones. Okay, so that's the do's and I will be sharing slides also so that you can go through them whenever you get time in detail. Okay. Now about from drone rules 2021, there is a segment for remote pilot certificate. This is not applicable for you. This is only from a eligibility criteria, not less than 18 years or more than 65 years. You should be past 10 years. Like whatever definitions have been defined. So these have been defined in drone rules 2021. But from a operation perspective, you are not worried about or you don't need to know about them. Okay. When you get remote pilot certificate, you only get when you successfully complete a training. Such training for remote pilot certificate may be specified by Director General from authorized training. Like BFC is authorized remote pilot training organization. So if you follow all these 3 criteria, then only you get remote pilot certificate. Okay, that is what is been defined in drone rules 2021. How do you get drone RPC or remote pilot certificate? So you have to fill a form D4. So now if you see this D4 form is application for remote pilot certificate to be filled by RPTO. That means as a pilot, since you are not a pilot, you are going to become a pilot, you don't need to make an application. this application has to be done by RPTOs. That means BFC will do behalf of you. So we will apply behalf of you to apply for RPC. Okay, so we will be making that application to the DGCA. So after you successfully complete your training, like Friday you complete your training, max by Monday me and or my team will be making this form, filling this form and making application behalf of you. Okay. After that 5 to 10 days, you will get your RPC. Okay. So I will be following the procedure, or my team, backend team will be following and filling these forms and submitting all your documents. So whatever your admission form, the medical certificate, your 10th mark sheet, your passport, your driving license, or your whatever document, Aadhaar card, whatever document, your 5 photographs, all that documents what we collect from you, and your test results, your theory test result, your simulator test result, your flying test results, all that things will be submitted to the DPCA, and then you will get your RPC generated. Okay, so they will give us this number which is to be generated based on the documents what you submit. That number will be coming on your certificate, that is remote pilot certificate or license what we called earlier, which is valid for 10 years, will be assigned to you after 7 to 10 days. Okay, so validity of your, it is still, your validity of your license is till it is enlisted on Digital Sky platform. It is not suspended or cancelled, will remain valid for period of 10 years. So you are valid, your license what you get or whatever the RPC what you get will be valid for 10 years. After 10 years, it needs to be renewed by paying the fees and maybe has to undergo a refresher course. Okay, maybe a 2 days or 3 days refresher course would be there, and you have to make the payment. So you have to do a refresher course for with relevant RPC or RPTOs and accordingly. Who is exempted from getting this license? So for flying a nano aircraft, you don't require a remote pilot license. Flying a micro also you don't require a license. Okay, but only for non-commercial purpose. So micro is exempted for having a license for a pilot, but only for non-commercial purposes. If you are using a micro for commercial purposes, you need to have a micro license also. Okay, that is very clearly defined. So these are the only two classes which have been exempted, nano and micro. Nano is completely exempted. Micro is only exempted for non-commercial purposes. Clear? Now coming to the last topic about drone insurance. Drone insurance is, again, as I said earlier, there was no drone insurance was available. But then because of Drone Rules 2021, they defined the guidelines, what guidelines to follow to get the insurance. So basically, since your drone is also a mobility device, okay, it is following the same Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. Okay, so under Rule of 59 of 1988 Motor Vehicle Act, the drone insurance is being created for unmanned aircraft system for providing the compensation in case of danger to life or property caused by such unmanned aircraft system. So same Motor Vehicle Act rules are applicable to your drone also. So it gives a guidelines for insurance company to follow. Okay, because they were not having the guidelines कि हम अगर drone को insurance करें तो किस basis पे करें. So drone rule says that you have to follow the same Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 to apply a drone insurance to the drone. Okay, so person operating an unmanned aircraft may use a drone insurance product. Insurance product specifically designed for such operation as and when such insurance product is approved. So there is a body which approves that insurance product. Okay, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, that is IRDA. Okay, is the body which specifies the or authorize or approves that insurance. Okay, policies or claim or the body or the document. Okay, which is being authorized by IRDA. Only nano can be operated. So nano is been exempted for third party insurance. Okay, so these are all third party insurance. By third party means like maybe ICICI Lombard or HDFC or Drogo Drones or Drogo insurance companies. There, national insurance companies are they, which are these are all third party insurance. Okay, so they are allowed to give the insurance. However, nano drone are being exempted to be operated without having third party insurance. Okay, now what is why drone insurance? Because drone insurance is important because it is prone to crash owing to bad weather, power failure, or inexperienced pilot. So there is a possibility of crash which can result in damage to your drone, which can damage to a person's life. It can be the person's property also. So damage to the body, damage to the payload. Even some drones are having a very expensive payloads. The cameras sometimes payload are more expensive than the drones. So in that scenario, you should always have the insurance. Okay, damage to any person or property on whom the drone crashing lands or falls. So liability. This is a liability for you. Okay, so in that scenario, you should always have a drone insurance. So a valid drone insurance policy would either cover either or all of the above damages. It can only have drone or a payload or even the life and property. Okay, so that depending upon what is defined in your policy, what type of policy you have purchased, depending upon that it will give you the compensation. Okay, so if you see mandatory third party liability, okay, so it can be available for only hours also. If that way you can pay minimum premium. Okay, if your operations is of minimum 4 hours, you can take for one day, you can take it for 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year also. So there is policies available with respect to your operations. Okay, you need to only provide a serial number, you need to provide UIN number, and back and forth, top down, whatever type of, and the serial number ka photographs, okay, to the third party liability cover for their records. Your liability cover can be between 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs or even more than that also, depending on the plan. Accordingly, the policy will premium will be defined. Okay, so similarly to your car, like what is you are covering under your car, based on that your insurance will be created and the premium will be defined. But you have to make sure that you take a third party insurance for your drone when you are going for operations. Okay, you are going for operational activities or you are doing some project something, you should always advisable to take third. A lot of projects are only given to those people who have insurance of their drone, then only you are given. If you are not insurance, you are not allowed to take participate in those projects or you are not awarded those projects also. Okay, so when we are talking about the certifications or registration, deregistration, transfer, or RPTO, or your RPL or RPC form, you are defined to give a fee. So for your D1, D2, D3, and D4, the fees is only 100 rupees. So when we talk about fees, this is rule number 46. Okay, this is rule number 46. So you are paying fee 100 rupees. Only when for authorization and renewal of authorization of remote pilot training organization, that point in time only you have to fees is 1,000 rupees. So when we made application for our RPTO at Igatpuri, we paid fees of 1,000 rupees. Okay, for us only for transfer or purchasing, or when I'm doing an application for your remote pilot license, I'm only paying a fees of 100 rupees. Okay, for only RPTO, that is D5 form, it is only 1,000 rupees. For D1, D2, D3, and D4 form, it is only 100 rupees fees to be paid to the government. Okay, so cancellation and suspension in case of any kind of cancellation or suspension of your license, or any kind of cancellation or suspension of your license, I think there was some network disconnection momentarily. Okay, so that's why we lost the connection. I think we are back now. All right. Let me.
Yes, yes.
Did you? I mean, it was only at my end. I think. Okay. So I saw it was available. Okay, so I'm repeating again. In case of you are violating any kind of rules and regulations with respect to the drone rules 2021, any kind of license, certificate, authorization or approval granted under drone rules 2021 can be cancelled or suspended by Director General Civil Aviation. Okay, by Director General of Civil Aviation. They will give you opportunity. They will give you a 7 days, 15 days, 10 days, 1 month period to give you opportunity to justify why they should not cancel or suspend. So initially they will give you a warning, or they will tell that we are going to suspend or cancel your because of so and so violation. You can justify and you can always give your justification to them so that it doesn't cancel. But if you are not able to successfully justify or provide a justification, it will be cancelled or suspended by Director General of Civil. Okay. Penalties and power. They may also imply a penalty also, but maximum penalty right now they can, as per the drone rules, is only 1 lakh rupees, not exceeding rupees 1 lakh in accordance to the provision of Section 10A of the Act. Okay, so earlier there was more amount of penalty was there. I think there was 5 to 10 lakh rupees, 25 lakh rupees तक कुछ तो penalty था as per the car. Okay, but now they have reduced as per the drone rules only up to 1 lakh. So maximum 1 lakh rupees आपको कर सकते हैं, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते. Again, the DGCA has a complete power to inspect. They can, if they feel anything, any point in time, they can question you as a pilot. They can ask you to show your drone. They can ask you to show your facility. Like our facility is there, RPTO is there. So every year they will come and inspect our facility. Either a intimated or informed visit, or they can do also a surprise visit also. Okay, so they have a power to inspect. So it's not necessary that अरे आपने बताया नहीं and you come for audit. So either they can come with the intimation that okay, we are doing a routine check every year. That is what our routine check is there every year. So that time they may come by informing us that okay, we are coming for audit next week. So we may have to get things ready and all those things available for the normal audit. But they can also do a surprise visit also. So that's why they are powered to inspect. They are being authorized to inspect at any point in time. Okay, that is what is been under drone rules 21. So this is the last slide. Just a summary of drone rules 2021. Drone registration is mandatory for nano, micro, small and medium and large. All the 5 class they are supposed to be registered. Certification, that is a type certification, nano is been exempted, whereas for micro, small, medium you need to certify. Similarly, pilot license for nano you don't require, micro also you don't require, but if you are flying it for commercially, you require a license. That's why there is a tick. So for micro, small, medium and large, you required a pilot license. Permission in green zone for nano, micro, small, medium and large is not required. But if it is a complete green zone under nobody's authorization or anything, if it is a plain green zone, pasture area, green zone, not even under forest or anything, you can always fly in that. But for yellow zone, yes, you need authorization. Even for nano, micro, small, medium, large, even for red zone also you required permissions. For R&D, education and testing, you don't require permission. Okay, but you can only fly for R&D, education and testing only in green zone under certain rules and regulations you need to follow. So that we'll see in the end of the day when we see the drone rules 2021, a document. Okay, so I'll explain you this point at that point in time in detail. Okay, there are certain aspects you need to follow when you are doing it for R&D, education and testing. So there is drone rules 2021. There is a segment for R&D, education and testing also. Okay, so with that we complete the first module about the stakeholders and their rules and regulations and drone rules 2021. We have taken a long period, more than 2 hours we have taken. But I think it was worthwhile explaining you all the rules and regulations and the features about red zones, green zone, dynamic nature, temporary red zone, all that points were very important and very important to explain you, because that is the base of your training. Okay, so with that we are good. I hope if you have any question query we can take up, or we can take a break for lunch. Okay, it will be 1 hour break, so we will be come back at 3 p.m. Any questions you have, or we are good to go?
Good to go, sir.
Okay.
Uh, Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, since you said that DJI drone is illegal,
Uh-huh.
so it will be covered in insurance or not?
See, insurance you are taking it for yourself. It can, you can get insurance. See, as far as it's a drone, you can get insurance. It's a third party insurance, right? So what they require? They require the serial number. You can get your DJI drone registered on the digital scale platform, so you will get a UN number also. Okay, you have to take the photographs. It will have its serial number. So all this information you have to give it, so they can give you insurance. So you will, for a DJI drone, you will get insurance. Why you are taking that insurance for a drone? Because your DJI drone is costing you 1.5 lakhs, 4 lakhs, depending upon what drones you are taking. Okay, more than 1 lakh rupees है. Simple neo drones है तो nano drone है तो आपको insurance नहीं जरूरत है. But if you are going a micro class or small class DJI drone, they are there you require, you should take a third party insurance, because you may be flying it. It can cause damage to property. It can cause damage to the life. So you are safeguarding yourself. Even your drone can get damaged also. You are safeguarding your drone also. So in that case, you need to take an insurance, and you should take an insurance. Clear?
But insurance company can say that it's illegal, so we will not cover the claim.
No. They will not say illegal. Why they will say illegal? As far as still you are, as you are registered that drone on DGC, you are illegal to import. You cannot import that drone officially, but still it is a drone and you are authorized to register on DGCA platform. So you can get that third party insurance.
Okay.
They are saying no, then you have to get a return from them. You cannot. You try any other insurance company. So some may say no for it. Some company may say that we don't give insurance for DJI drones. Some company may say that. Okay. In that scenario, you may try other companies, other third party insurance. Suppose ICICI Lombard ना बोल रहा है, try HDFC, try Drogo drones, try national insurance. They may give. Okay, company to company depend करता है. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take a break, and by 3 p.m. we'll come back and start with the new topic. Okay.
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 Thank you, sir.
So I'll disconnect and we'll connect after 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So sharply 3 p.m. we'll connect.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.